Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber KaTribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Magandang hapon po mga katribu and welcome to Kalingang KaTribu. Today we're going to talk about quaranteeners. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng quaranteeners? Kahit anong edad nyo po, lahat tayo ay quaranteeners. O, di ba ang gandang pakinggan? Our guests today are Dionisio and Uytiepo from the De La Salle College of St. Benilde, and it's changed from counseling to well-being center. Hi, Lani and Yanni. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Again, what is the difference between the name, because there's a name change in La Salle at St. Benilde, from counseling to well-being? It seems that it's more encompassing now.
Yanni, what?
Okay. Before po, from the Center for Counseling Services, our name was changed to Benilde Wellbeing Center because usually when we talk about counseling, there's stigma attached to it because of mental health. But we wanted to include everyone, and we wanted people to avail of mental health services in a more yung hindi po sila matatakot, no? So hindi sila mag-iisip. So na there's stigma in there. So that's why we changed our name to Benilde Wellbeing Center. And well-being is much more holistic kasi kaya po mas maganda po yung approach ng kaya po yun. Kaya nag-change po yun.
Maybe 10 or 20 years ago, there was more stigma when it came to mental challenges. The minute they hear the word mental problem, they think, oh, you're a candidate for the insane asylum, right? But it's not so today because stress is so common in all sectors of society that people at one time or another have experienced some kind of depression. What do you think?
Yes, Miss Cory, it's very important that we have to educate our kababayans and all the in terms of disorders and mental health. So mental health is for all naman. So we have to consider not only our physical health but also our mental health. So it's the psychological aspect of the person. It's very important.
Okay, so now there's a nice term that you give people in quarantine, quaranteeners, parang teenager. Especially for the seniors, ay, nakakatuwa yan. Nakaka-inspire. So, quaranteners, to a psychologist and a therapist like yourselves, what does it mean really to be in quarantine from the point of view of a psychologist?
Yes, Miss Cory, siguro we have to define the quarantine first in terms of from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. That quarantine is a separation of people or the group of people reasonably believed to have exposed in a communicable disease, but not yet symptomatic. There's a difference between the quarantine and the isolation. The isolation is really separated from other people, complete separation from suffering from contagious or infectious disease. So tayo, kung wala tayong symptoms but we have to protect ourselves, so we are in a quarantine. However, in a quarantine, a lot of literature right now is presenting there is a quarantine fatigue, and it's a reality now.
That quarantine fatigue manifests in terms of what particular symptoms?
In terms of quarantine fatigue, there are three stress. One is fear of infection. So, kanina nga, physiological, right? So, we are worried on we will be experiencing physical symptoms or we could be infected by the COVID-19. So, stress to for all of us, right? And then the second there is frustration and boredom because of the confinement and less on the movements physically, or there are loss of usual routine or reduce on social and physical contact with others that would cause boredom, frustration, and sense of isolation.
A lot of people were saying, like, I have a cousin in the US, and he's a psychiatrist, and he was saying that more than ever, mental challenges have been felt and experienced by people all over the world, and that the impact of being in quarantine or even self-isolation is really more damaging to the millennials, to the youth, rather than to the older people or the seniors.
Yes. Actually, I have to present you a literature that came from in the US that they had research about this. The New York Times, it was presented that there is a quarantine teenagers because the teenagers on their developmental stage strive for independence, yearning for peers or social contact, and looking for ahead for the future. However, yes, it's true that when you say that teenagers right now are very much affected, so there are some tips on how to lessen the quarantine fatigue among the teenagers. Maybe number one is that so that they have to be provided, make a space for disappointments and sadness. This is we have to allow our teenagers to feel the feeling, the sadness, the disappointments. So we will have to provide a space for them. And then next is they have to feel make sense of a space for relief and joy naman. So extremes, di ba? For sadness and disappointments, but we have also to allow them to have a space for relief and joy. Maybe this is really for the parents, that they have to be, that the teenagers will be allowed to have privacy and being time alone, and also feeling supported by the family, by the friends and the relatives in the family, in the home.
Because sometimes, you can see that millennials or teenagers, they sort of start becoming, they feel that they have the entitlement, they're entitled to speak out and to share their feelings, no matter what that might be, whether it might offend someone or could be misunderstood by someone else. Like even in Facebook, right? When people are just sharing all these different varieties of emotions. And I guess our society has become more tolerant and more understanding and more appreciative also of people who are speaking up, who are really exposing their true feelings or their nature, and that they feel it's their right to be heard. What do you say to that, being a psychologist?
The feeling of being right to be heard must have the responsibility that you have to be accountable of your actions, of your thoughts, and of course your manners, especially in social media. Still, the millennials would need guidance and support, not only to be heard, but it's really for accountability. We need to teach them accountability.
Right. How do you begin to do that? Let's say, yan yung mga magulang, nakikinig kayo ngayon, nanonood kayo. Eto na, we will answer all your questions. Or this dilemma that parents have about how do you maintain all these quarantine requirements at the same time protect your children, but at the same time also give them space to express themselves. Maybe we can do an open discussion for Yani and Lani.
So for the parents, since the teenagers would really in their developmental stage, they still need to be protected, supported. So not only maybe they have mood swings, you have to respect that because we are all in quarantine. But what we need right now is support. You need to listen to them and allow them to express their true feelings. Baka kasi minsan socialize or yung feelings hindi talaga siya yung authentic. So what we need now is to look into the genuine feelings. Baka mamaya yung mood swings kasi, it is just part of the anxiety, just part of something else that they feel, but they need to be heard and supported during this time.
So,
and of course, At the other hand, the parents would need also support. So this is the time for us to support each other as a family, as a community, as a neighborhood.
So let's say you're a very strict mom or father and you insist that the children be in the table when it's time for meals. Let's say lunch or dinner, dapat lahat kayo kompleto. So you're saying then that you should be more understanding of the moods of the children and not, let's say, not force them to sit
Yeah.
down with you with the rest of the family for dinner. Is that what you were saying? Is that an example?
That's for the family kasi.
Yeah.
The teenagers must know that they have to follow rules and regulations, but not on a stricter way. Because since every 24/7 tayong magkakasama sa bahay, wala nang nakikita kundi tayong bawat isa. So we need to have certain time for privacy and certain time for the family affair. So that must be the standard or the yardstick of the family now. And communication is the key.
Right. Which is a lot of parents complain about, because how do you communicate with your son or your daughter who refuses to open up?
I have a very effective tips on that. Kasi you cannot allow the person to share if the stress is so high. So I have 4 kids. With my kids, I will target the time that they will be cool, less on sadness. Yung during the time na you are about to go into bed, and then you make story, and then cool and calm, and then that's the time you can start asking for stories for the day, what happened for their relationship with the professor, with the teacher, with the classmate online. It's very important that during those calming moments, the time that they are not that stressful, that could be one effective time to be with your children.
No, because all classes are now being held online, right?
Yes.
But still, what problems or challenges do you see with students who are doing online classes as opposed to physical contact the old-fashioned way?
Oh.
Miss Lani, can I answer this one?
Yeah, it's Miss Yanni's turn.
Okay, so thank you, Miss Lani, for sharing about quarantine fatigue. So nowadays, it's really difficult for the students because there's no physical interaction. Although we talk in Zoom meetings or we see our classmates online, however, it's still difficult that you get to eat with them together. And also it's painful na din siguro po sa mata. Masakit din po yung longer hours of exposure. No, so kaya mahirap po. And then another thing that they're really having difficulty with is yung hindi sila makapagtanong na minsan kasi mahiyain yung mga bata, nahiya silang magtanong. So in Zoom, everybody sees them. No? So unlike in physical na may contact, na pwede nilang i-approach yung teacher afterwards. So, kumbaga, it's difficult because they don't get the same quality of answers maybe in their point of view. So, I think that's...
I see. So you still favor the old-fashioned way, the personal contact?
I think yes. When we are talking to the students, I think it's still incomparable. However, we need to adjust at this point. So, we are just best effort na lang din po para sa mga kids. And I know that they are really trying their best.
A lot of, of course, a lot of kids are online already. What advice would you give both the professors and the students?
I think it's for them to be a little bit kinder or more kinder maybe to themselves because we are not in a normal situation. Many times we will really have mistakes in everything. now. It's a trial and error thing. So I think while we try or we strive to be excellent, we still put forgiveness when we make mistakes. So I think that's it.
Mhm. Have you encountered students who say to you, I don't want to be a dean's lister, I just want to pass? Is there some kind of challenge to you there, being a therapist?
There's
Then
none
account-
naman po. Kasi I think there's nothing wrong if that's what they want naman po. Kasi it doesn't measure naman. Although I really admire those students who want to excel in their studies. But there are people who have different gifts. So maybe being
It's okay.
means this is not their gift. Maybe it's another thing. So it's okay. Maybe they want to play a guitar whatsoever. So I think it will just allow them to be themselves. I think
Right. Give them space to grow, and express themselves. I see. So you need a lot of patience. Correct. Which one has made you more aware of the risks of the growing number of children all over the world experiencing depression at this time, which also some cases and cases of suicide are on the rise?
point, it's really sad that there's a rising number with depression. But the good thing is the rise of depression is mainly because of the awareness, because people are now open to it.
Mm.
So
Mm.
although it's sad, I think it's also a good thing because we can talk about it, we can have them check. So we just need the support of our community, especially the parents, to help identify and also help the students address what their concerns are, especially with
Yes.
depression or other
Okay.
mental health issues.
Right. Sa aming pagbabalik mga katribo, kasi we have a little bit of break now, but don't go away because we're going to answer the question of how do we guide parents to become more aware of their children's emotional state in order to prevent episodes of depression or even suicide? Because I have met parents who've had children, sad to say, who decided to just take their own lives, with parents telling me they were not aware. Sa aming pagbabalik, mga katribo. Don't go away.
This is a very important story. The important story.
Pictures and stories.
Today, we feel the weight of history on our shoulders. The way we have been moving leads nowhere. We need to change course.
Since the United Nations was founded, the human race has never had to face a set of challenges like we do right now. But together, we can overcome them.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Hello, can I get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slide, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget my...
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Wait lang, okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver. Call.
Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa... cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami mag-deliver.
Call to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Call. Hashtag 143SM. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Call na rin kayo.
Call to deliver.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kaming natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ng mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
Estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April at para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Oo nga naman, sir. Ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.
We're back, mga katribu, here at Kalingang KaTribu. And we are guesting today Lani, Dionisio, and Yani Uytiepo from the De La Salle College of St. Benilde Well-Being Center. No, so from counseling to well-being, that means professionals, experts in the field of mental health and wellness are more aware now of the comprehensive and holistic approach to mental health. Now, when we say mental health, we're not just talking about health. I am also talking about fitness, mental fitness. That sounds more fun, right? But then how do we equip parents to become more vigilant and more aware of the risks of depression and, sad to say, even suicide among their children? Lani?
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay. I'll share a bit of advice for the parents. For the mental health, we need to look into the stress level of our children and their emotional responses in terms of fear, anxiety ba, or sadness ba, because those emotional responses before are not allowed to talk about, are not allowed to share. Sabi ko nga, mga katribo kanina to Miss Cory, during our generation kasi, it's a big no-no to talk about the emotions, talk about the suicide, to talk about it. Now we need to share. There is a therapy right now in the US that permission to feel. And that's the time. Permission to feel. We have to allow the teenagers right now to feel and to journey with them. While journeying, communication is very important. An everyday communication in terms of their experiences and emotional responses are very relevant.
So, how can you tell? Are there warning signs?
Yes. Actually, Miss Yani, you want to share?
I can share, Miss Lani, about some warning signs. So we might want to look into 3 basic things, like 1 is sleep. If their sleep is erratic already, it's either they are sleeping too much or they are not sleeping very well. So or they sleep but they're still tired the next day, or they're not eating well. So it's either they eat too much or they don't eat at they don't eat well, or just konti lang yung kanilang kinakain. Okay, and then yung mood po nila, so they become irritable, iyak, tawa, iyak, so for 2 weeks. And then if there is already impairment in their functioning, hirap kang maligo, ayaw nang bumangon, mga ganun po. Although, syempre, meron pong mga criteria na tinitignan talaga yung mga psychiatrists natin, sila po yung nakakapagbigay ng diagnosis. Pero counselors can already spot. Kahit parents po, pag napansin mo, parang may kakaiba sa anak ko. 2 linggo na, hindi siya tumatayo, hindi siya nakikipag-usap, iyak lang siya ng iyak. So, those are signs already. So, it's already time to talk to your child, what's going on, So, and then, siguro po ngayon, kasi one of the things I really see with students kapag nagsabi sila sa magulang nila, sabihin ng magulang nila, hindi, okay lang yan, kasi ngayon, quarantine kasi ngayon, or ganyan, or hindi, okay lang yan, hindi ka lang kasi natulog, kaya malungkot ka, parang mga ganun. So siguro po, rather than putting meaning to what they feel, maybe we could listen to them. Or the presence mismo po kasi ng parents kahit pag nakinig, sabi, ay, at least mag-open up sila, di ba? Kapag po nakita nila na their parents are really listening and are not judging or not undermining what they feel. So I think po that's very important.
I know a mother, when I asked her, why is your child out every day? Aren't you afraid about the fear of catching COVID-19 and coming down with a coronavirus infection? And you know what she answered? I encourage my children, teenagers, they're all teenagers, to go out and mingle with their friends and be a part of life. That's what she answered.
Wow.
That's quite tricky po at these days, kasi that's quite tricky because we are all advised to stay home. We are only allowed to go out for essentials. So I think it's possible naman po to mingle with friends online, and then just siguro 1 day or 2 days lang nalalabas. So maybe that's better when things get normal na. Kasi baka mamaya po, we want to be also, we want to have the wisdom also especially these times. So I think it's sa home pa lang, in the home itself, we can already foster social relationships with our children, with our parents. So I think po doon pa lang pwede nang magsimula yun. Hindi po ganun kailangan lumabas, lalo na po sa panahong ito.
Ito naman, what are the tips for students to prepare for online learning?
Okay po.
Big challenge yan. Big challenge.
Very big challenge po. Kasi, of course, we are tantamount to having quarantine fatigue talaga. So, Miss Lani, I have prepared some tips for the students, which we got also from an article written by teachers from North Carolina State University. First is to schedule have a routine, because it's very important. Rather having none. So sometimes you will not be able to follow it, but it's best to have a schedule blocking. Like for example, in the morning, I will do my classes from 8 to 5, and then a little bit of chores. And then in the evening, maybe that's time for family. And then take breaks po. So usually in this time, we are very much carried away with longer hours of work. Not only students, also parents. So kasi online job or work from home. So I think walking or stretching after an hour would help already. And then there is this method. Maybe the kids can just Google it because we lack time. But it's the Pomodoro method. Actually, Miss Lani introduced it to me. Like, you'll have 25 minutes purely on focus on something. You just read or just do your assignment, and then after 25 minutes, you can take a break. So just do 4 rounds of it, and you'll see how productive you are. And then also, it's important to have a power nap. So because they say, one counselor also told me we have 24 hours a day. So in that 24 hours, maybe we allot 8 hours for sleep at night, eating, and then what else? We take a bath. So that's roughly around somewhere 15 hours. So we still have roughly mga 8 hours pa po para 8 to 10 hours to do our own thing. No? So kung titignan natin, we have 24 hours. No? So, and then, what is 10 hours? What is 10 minutes or what is 20 minutes for a nap? Kasi they say 10 to 20 minutes would help us parang be energized. And then, yes. And then, wag lang daw po 30 minutes because 30 minutes is like you will be groggy daw. And then, if you want creativity, they advise 1 hour to 1.5 hours. No? So, that's the advisable time. No? And then, kasi it boosts up creativity po pala. And then, number 4 is to be organized and look for a good location for study. So you might want to check in your Google Calendar or check your planner, use it kahit medyo patapos na ang taon, gamitin mo. No, and then we also would like to yung location where you want to study. If you have your own room, that's good. No, but if you don't have, maybe you're in the living room. Ako po meron po akong something like a trolley that I just push and pull. So I just put all my things there, and when it's time for me to, it's like it's a mobile office. So it makes me feel good kasi hindi po ako ganun kapagod kasi nandun ang gamit ko. Para lang po akong pumasok tapos uwi na ako, ganyan. Yeah. And then also the other one is setting goals. No? So maybe before you sleep, you might want to list down some things that you need to do for tomorrow para medyo kondisyon ka na kung anong gagawin mo bukas. Tapos, you check it in the morning so that you will be able to do them. You may not be able to finish all of them, but it's okay. At least, kesa naman wala kang goal para sa araw na yon, di ba? And lastly po is communication. So, it's best to communicate to your teachers, your needs if you're having difficulty. Like, for example, I can't understand the lesson or I have some questions. Don't be afraid to ask help from your teachers. And also have a study buddy. Like, mahirap po ngayon yung marami kang kausap. So, marami kang kaklase. So, maybe you might want to find a buddy na pwede kayong magtanungan, no, para hindi po masyadong nadidrain yung eyes. No, so, kumbaga, siya na lang yung tatanungin mo. We don't say naman na wag kang makipag-interact, but just to protect the eyes because you've been there doing your schoolwork in the computer. We're just trying to eliminate din po yung screen time into a smaller number of hours. And then, sa family din po and friends, you have to tell them that this is my time of study, for example. So that they will not call you, they will not kulit you at this time, para po matapos mo. And then after that, you can say, around 7 na lang tayo mag-usap, ganun kasi finish na yung school ko. Para at the same time, you still have social relationships while you are still achieving the same with your school po.
Because there are a lot of studies now on the exposure or the risks or dangers of exposure to electromagnetic radiation. So too long exposure with a gadget can really put anyone at risk. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to move on to our Netizens Corner and give in to all your questions. Wag po kayong aalis.
offshore gaming operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.
Okay, mga katribo, we are back and we're giving into our netizens corner. Hello to our netizens who are watching right now. Amanda Fernandez, Arlene Florentino, David Bautista, Ria Bayot, and Jed Villamor Galang. Hello po.
Hello.
There are some questions here. Per my son, school only allows 5 to 7 Zoom classroom. 5 to 7 Zoom classroom? I don't understand. And then how do you expect the students to learn and build rapport with their professors? Also, unfortunately, my son has not met the guidance counselor assigned for his term, Arlene Florentino of Makati.
Oh. So I will answer the Zoom.
5 to 7 Zoom.
I think, Miss Lani, they're talking about the synchronous sessions, no? Yun yata yun na.
Oo. There is two strategies kasi ngayon in the school. Meron synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous could be your meeting with the prof, and the asynchronous could be it can be not on Zoom, but there are other strategy like you can visit the website, you can visit other materials, you can just get the materials. So it's not really Zoom meeting every time or on cam every time, because that's true. There is really an effect on the fatigue, and also in our eyes, and also in our health. But then I know in DepEd they have a combination of the modular programs, and on video cam. So it's not only always on video cam, but they have to be to get their materials and modules in certain centers and areas. So to lessen the exposure. And then for the guidance counselors, in our school kasi, we have our platform that we need to see our students, specifically the frosh and also the upperclassmen. And it's very important that we have to meet them in a certain platform. Not face to face, but in a certain platform.
So it's a must for guidance counselors.
Specifically now that we are in pandemic.
Because it's quite urgent, no?
Yeah.
Here. This question is from Timmy of Antipolo. If I will consider taking online college courses, in fact, I'm already enrolled in the program, can you give me some tips and advice how I can help address this unique challenge of online learning?
Okay. So aside from what we have mentioned a while ago, so because I gave 6 steps, no, so I think it's really the perspective that matters.
Yeah.
That I think you need to somehow understand that it's really difficult. We cannot. Sino ba naman po ang ayaw umalis sa ganitong sitwasyon? Pero while we are enduring it, no, we, kumbaga parang patiently waiting, so productive waiting. So what are we gonna do while I'm waiting for this to be over? So I think it's more of trying your best. Best effort na lang talaga, no? Minsan hindi mo ma-achieve what you are able to achieve during the normal times. But I think what you can do is to help yourself na be reminded that this all too shall pass. And
Okay.
I will just do what I can do for now.
Right. So don't be so hard on yourself, right?
Yes po. And then get more psychoeducation or self-help tips online. You can find them. And basically in Benilde Wellbeing Center, we have a Facebook page. We also have a deaf unit page where they can visit. There are tips where they can see how they will be able to cope with online learning. And not only that, even mental health issues, we try to post every Thursdays articles that could help them educate themselves during this time of pandemic.
What is
So
the
we
link for
encourage them to look for that na lang po.
Where is your link for that? What would-
We can share it with you po yung sa, but we have the Facebook page po is Benilde Wellbeing Center. So they can just go to that and Benilde Wellbeing Center Deaf Unit. So they can just visit those Facebook pages and there they will see notes, visual notes or articles that we post for psychoeducational purposes.
This one is from Derek of Makati. How can I succeed in online classes during COVID-19 pandemic? This monster situation, this is a monster situation to deal with, but I can still take control of learning and keep up with classes. So what's the biggest tip you can give, Derek?
I think Derek is trying. Just keep it up, Derek. Try lang. Best effort lang, just like what I've said. So, tuloy-tuloy lang. Pag napagod, pahinga lang. Tapos balik ulit, no? So, wag lang susuko, no? So matatapos din naman. It's gonna be over soon and we hope and pray for that.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. Edith of Taguig. Remote learning will likely play a role in students' lives once schools reopen. How teachers and parents can help kids manage stress, build resilience, and stay connected. Give us ways to reduce stress and build connections during distance learning.
To lessen the stress?
Stress daw. Anong gagawin pag nasi-stress sila?
Oo, yan. It's very important kasi tingnan lang natin yung remote learning ngayon. It can be physical, provide food for your children during, after, and before. Kailangan din
the water.
Water, good diet, healthy lifestyle, no junk food sana ha. I-lessen natin yung mga junk food. Tsaka mahal pa yun eh. Mas maganda yung mga talagang healthy food. And then provide enough sleep for them. And of course, yung hug and then yung support for our children. The more they are exposed in remote learning, the more they need your support, parents.
The more they need to be hugged.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. How could there possibly be any disadvantages to online courses? Mix of Pasay. Ano yung mga disadvantages?
So, I think po, meron talaga po siyang disadvantage because there is an additional self-study on their part for the children because they really need to learn on their own during synchronous times or asynchronous sessions. But still, it will build their character. I think it's gonna build your character when you are already working. It's not everything na ibibigay sa'yo. So, I think this is a good time to relearn things and discover that you can actually make it pala. Hindi lang siya katulad po nung wag lang sobrang mag-expect na katulad ng dati, no, na you ace everything. It's okay as long as you are doing your best. I think that's already something. Kahit nga po gumising, 'di ba po parang ang hirap minsan. 'Di ba po? So,
wake up in the morning, you say, anong araw ba ito? Is it Monday?
Oo, kaya po kahit yung pagising mo pa lang na gumising ka, malaking bagay na yon ng tas you decided to work on your school, that's already a big thumbs up for you.
So give yourself a pat on the shoulder, a pat on your back, guys. Girls and guys. So we don't have time. We've run out of time. How about your last word, last sharing for our friends who are watching right now?
This pandemic time and social distancing provides us new opportunities to be creative work differently and come together as a community, as a nation, and as a country.
Yun. Thank you
I
so
think po, these times of the quarantine, one thing that students can do, and even parents, is to seek help at this time. No? So you are not alone in this time. No? So if you have an opportunity to reach out to your counselor, if you're a student, then try to talk to them. You might get something out of it, and it will help you. If you can't, maybe talk to your parents or your sibling or a friend. No, by the mere fact that you are sharing what you feel, it's already alleviating anything that you feel is negative in you. So seek help. That's what I am advocating for the students din po.
Thank you for the advice that you have shared with all of our friends and viewers. Thanks to Lani Dionisio and Yanni Uytiepo of the De La Salle College of St. Benilde Well-Being Center. So happy about that. A more holistic approach to health and wellness, body, mind, and spirit. It's so great. Thank you for being with us today. At para sa lahat ng ating mga katribu, we'll see you again next week. Thank you for sharing the afternoon with us. God bless you. We are in this together. Stay strong. Stay healthy.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber KaTribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Oo nga naman, sir. Ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.